Is everybody in? Is everybody in? This episode's about to begin. Keep showing up.
Wake up! Is every number where it was? Has this dream stopped?
Hope you find some kind of peace of mind. And hope you find some kind of peace of mind.
That's right. You know what time it is. Happy Mental Health Monday, everybody.
Hope you find some kind of peace of mind.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you can find some peace of mind on this Mental Health Monday. How we doing, everybody? Good evening. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. We're going to talk about the Mondays, the Monday blues in the upcoming mental health video of the week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We got a big show ahead of us. All right, there's a big giveaway. I'm sure that's probably why most of you are here. We're giving away an exclusive Epis Sports Radio hat, snapback. All right, I'm going to dish out the instructions on how to win that first. If you haven't already done so, you better do it now. You better be a subscriber on the YouTube page for Epis Radio. That is, at the very least, a qualification to be a potential eligible receiver of this exclusive hat. All right, and unfortunately, for our international viewers out there, we're limiting the giveaway to the United States residents. And nothing against you, we love you, but due to shipping costs, that whole nine, we're just keeping it within the States for now. But we'll keep you in mind for the future. It's a beautiful thing. Dub, how we doing? Chris, what's going on, bro? How are your Mondays? It's been a nice, good weekend for me, and an interesting start to the week, to say the least. But how you guys doing?
Good, Chris, you go first, Chris. So how's everything?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Everything's good. Busy Monday.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that vibe from both of you. I didn't do anything as far as I'm off today. We got a big show tomorrow. The Jelly Roll, Post Malone, they're in town for their tour. Their tour date in Orlando tomorrow. So I'm gonna wake up early, long day.
Yeah.
But because of that, I chilled all out. I did my workout early, foot elevated. I had the old man nap 5 hours. Got up at 4:00, started getting ready for tonight. That's about it, man. I ain't really do much.
That's a full day's sleep.
Yeah, bro. It was 10 a.m. to 2:30. Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
Well, lucky
Yeah,
you
Sandman.
that you had that nice little start to the week. All right. Well, listen.
What were you doing?
I work today, but I am off tomorrow, so I can't say that much. I am relaxing. All right.
Roll switch.
I don't mind that. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't mind going to work and then taking off the very next day. So it's not too bad.
Man. Especially after these dreaded Mondays, huh?
Well, indeed. We'll get on. We'll get about that in this week's mental health video of the week. I'm going to show that to you guys shortly. All right. We do have a special guest going to come on phone call tonight. All right. It's a good friend of ours, Jeff Mirto, coming down from Florida. All right. He's going to talk a little bit about what he does for work and things like that. We're going to dive deep into his personal life a little bit and just touch on some, mental health subjects that, we've talked about previously on the show, things like that. It should be interesting for all of you guys. If you want to participate, all right, I'm going to drop it in the chat right after I say this. I'm going to drop my number in the chat. Don't go blowing up my number, all right? But if you're interested, because I will block you very fast. I love all of you very much.
Nobody's blowing you up, Maddie. Nobody wants to talk
all right,
to you like that.
But if you blow me up, that's it. It's no more. You get the block. But I'm going to leave my phone number in the chat, all right? If you want to come on, you want to do a quick little phone call, you want to talk about a certain topic, anything. Whatever you need to get off your chest, we're here for you. Consider us a shoulder to cry on. All right, I'll just text me first with a topic that you would like to talk about. I'll give you the yes. If I don't get back to you, then I'm sorry. Maybe we'll get back to you next show. All right. Especially I don't know how many calls we're going to be able to fit in. Usually we only go an hour, but I think tonight we'll probably go a little over that threshold, considering the giveaway and everything that's going on. All right. So I'm gonna put that in the chat for you guys, and then we're gonna get to the mental health video of the week. Actually, you know what? Let me get there, and then we'll I'll drop that in the chat as we're watching. So again,
let's do that now.
We mentioned Mondays. All right. This is all about the Monday blues and turning Mondays into a positive and actually changing the mindset, changing the perspective. Okay. It's very key on how you go about your day. Plays into what we were talking about last week's mental health video. So check this one out for all you guys. All right. Energy for Mondays, especially today. It's raining. What's there to look forward to? It's probably going to rain on the weekend too. And then just back to work Monday again. What are you talking about? You don't like Mondays? It's a brand new way to start the week. It's a new lease on life. Or you got to approach it differently. You just can't, go into it. Oh, it's Monday, it's negative. You're alive. Be grateful. Maybe I got to change my perspective a little. Embrace the highs, embrace the lows. It's a part of life. Things are not always going to go your way, but you got to approach it differently. You got to turn it around. Make Monday a new day. Make Monday a fun day. You sure you don't have something wrong with you? I mean, I just don't understand how a person could be so optimistic about a Monday. You got to change your perspective, Pop.
I like that one, man.
I don't know what else to tell you. Change the mindset. Shake it up a little bit, all right? It's Monday. You're here. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Come on, man. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. You got the world ahead of you. Full of opportunity. You're too cheerful for me and upbeat for a Monday. I'm sorry. I can't. What's that thing you always say? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean this thing? Keep showing up. One more time for everybody. One more time. Like we always like to do. Man, I don't know how people have the energy for Mondays. Especially today. It's raining. What's there to look forward to? It's probably going to rain on the weekend too. And then just back to work Monday again. What are you talking about? You don't like Mondays? It's a brand new way to start the week. It's a new lease on life. Or you got to approach it differently. You just can't, go into it. Oh, it's Monday, it's negative. You're alive. Be grateful. Maybe I got to change my perspective a little. Embrace the highs, embrace the lows. It's a part of life. Things are not always going to go your way, but you got to approach it differently. You got to turn it around. Make Monday a new day. Make Monday a fun day. You sure you don't have something wrong with you? I mean, I just don't understand how a person could be so optimistic about a Monday. Yeah, what a friend. You sure you have something wrong with you? I don't know what else to tell you. Change the mindset. Shake it up a little bit, all right? It's Monday. You're here. It's a beautiful thing, all right? Come on, man. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. You got the world ahead of you. Full of opportunity. You're too cheerful for me and upbeat for a Monday. I'm sorry. I can't. What's that thing you always say? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean this thing? Keep showing up. Alright, there you go. Good stuff. What do you guys think, guys? What do you guys think? I'm still sending some info into the chat for all you listeners out there. Hope you enjoyed that video.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's true. Mondays are not the easiest days to stay upbeat, especially if it's raining, right? But
like it was today for us.
Is something wrong with you? There's something wrong with you?
Yeah, what an asshole, right? What an asshole that just like, come on, you're so
I mean, sometimes the positive guy can be looked like that. The super positive guy, like, tired of this guy. Is something wrong with you?
What's wrong with this guy?
But it's definitely a good state of mind to be in, to keep yourself at a good coasting speed. You know what I'm saying? Just to get through the day. Too much negativity, especially in the morning. I mean, we're setting the tone for the week, aren't we?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it, man.
We're setting the tone for the week. Imagine you have an awesome Monday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
This is true.
Right.
Imagine that. Like, so, and you can't have one if you're always thinking it's going to be shit. So
I'm gonna try to keep that in mind for Tuesday.
I get Tuesdays. I don't know.
Exactly.
Tuesdays a little different.
I had to throw a little bit of toxic masculinity in there, just because that's what we're used to, right? As growing up between our friends and things like that. Why not like talk about our emotions, things like that, family, friends, right?
Yeah.
They're so especially
right,
when men, right? Especially men, it's so hard on each other. They don't want to open up. They don't want to admit. They don't want to feel those types of emotions, and I had to just, throw that in. It's not what I would truly say or feel. Like, that would be a real dick thing to do. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'll do it jokingly, right? But it's that's between, and that's when I know, like say with Chris or Dub, with you guys, it's, the relationship that we have with each other. We know, we understand, but
There's
again,
a time and place.
there is a time and place for it, but,
An
more
environment
so,
as well.
more so in that video, in that conversation, he's really like saying, like, is there something wrong with you? You feel this?
Yeah, how could you be this freaking
right?
happy about this day? Like,
Exactly.
what?
And it's so unorthodox, right? We're so used to, I mean, especially in this day and age, it's just, the hustle and bustle, the 9 to 5. It's easy to dread a Monday. It's easy, you get, it's the beginning of your work week, right? For most at least. And, it's,
And most people hate their jobs.
Right. That's right. I was getting there, right? That's a part of it, and I think it's a message to you, and to, maybe reevaluate, like, all right, what are you really doing with yourself? Because if it's that bad to the point where you can't even, fathom going into your job on a Monday, then maybe you should reevaluate things, for your own mental health, because that's no way to live. You can't go, week by week, just, constantly do that for 20, 30 years. I mean, I've seen it. We all seen it, right? People get stuck in that. I'm not living a dream job, no doubt about it, but I do like my work environment. I like the people I work with, I mean, it wasn't always that way, It's not always that way every day either, somebody's going to piss you off inevitably. Yeah,
Right.
But the interesting part about that statement that I like the people I work with. There's someone who works with you who hates that job.
Oh, hell yeah. Or hates me.
Or hates you. Yeah, that part. So like, it's always, we always talk about the P word, perspectives.
Yeah.
The P word. We always talk about perspectives and everyone has their own vantage point, but like even me listening to you say that, it's like it just reinforces the fact that it's what we make it, bro. Everything is what we make of it. And like you said, if you can't you have to switch it up. If you don't like it, and no matter, you can't find any positivity in it, you got to switch it up, because you can't stay that way. Or you can, but you're not gonna live your best life.
Yeah, you gotta like what you do and not let the miserable ones get to you.
Even if it's the burger flip, whatever, man, whatever you're doing, even if you're going to the young kid going to McDonald's, he's working a job there, even older, whatever, but you're there for a reason, because you can. You're trying to make a living, but if you don't like what you're doing, eventually you're gonna have to find something. And if you can't find something else, you gotta change it up here. This is where it starts anyway,
right?
Because you can go to the next spot and still be miserable. Some people love being miserable. Some people love it.
Yeah.
Some people need it.
I know a few.
Me too. Absolutely. So it's interesting, man.
Absolutely, man. It's and it's a perspective that we need to find a way to shift every single day. It's not easy. We spoke about before. Fall into that human trap of that way of thinking, those stories that you tell yourself over and over, and that's all it really is. It's just a mindset. It's a story you tell yourself that is a reason to dread. Meanwhile, you're alive. You woke up today. It's a lease on life, right? Like I said,
there's a lot of those.
Oh, Zero coming in with the raid from Twitch. It's a party now. Watch out. Happy Mental Health Monday, everybody. What's going on, Poopsie? What's going on, Zero? It's a beautiful thing. How we doing? How's your Monday? All right. For those of you that are new to us, my name is Matthew Benedetti. I am Zero Sorrow's brother. All right, been doing this for a little while now. Every Monday, we like to talk about a little mental health. Thank you for tuning in tonight. All right, we're actually doing a little giveaway tonight. We're giving away an exclusive Epis Sports Radio hat. On top of the mental health episodes, we do a weekly sports episode, podcast, if you will, and we're giving away an exclusive hat. Where is that hat?
$1 million.
So
It
$1
truly- it
million.
truly is
All
It
right.
truly is exclusive, though.
There
It
you
truly
go.
is
I'll
exclusive.
show you. It is exclusive, baby.
Yeah, it's
All
from
right.
the hat.
I'll
Jesus,
show
she
you
been talking
right
about this
here,
damn hat
everybody.
for 2 weeks.
And
She
for
never
2
showed me-
weeks.
Now they showed them the damn hat.
Check it out. All right. The black snapback. There you go. Sticker and everything. All right. Freshly minted. All for
Show
you.
the back.
All
There
right.
you go. Hey.
About a little bit more about that. Okay.
Nice hat.
Well, I have me up on the screen here. Instructions on how to win this hat. Okay. I'm going to say a key phrase throughout the show 5 times since we're giving away 5 hats. All right. Each time, only one person is eligible to win a hat. All right. So it's going to be the first person who comments when you hear the intro music to the show, which, if you're not familiar, this is what it sounds like.
Hope you find
All right. You heard that? One more time.
some kind of peace of mind.
I hope you're fine. All right. So when you hear that, all right, and you see my face go like this, we're getting mental.
Hope you
All right. You better get in the comments and comment mental. Mental. All right. So, and the first
Mental.
person to comment mental will win a free hat. Okay. And that's now starting now. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Zero says wait. The Twitch chat? All chats, simulcast chat,
And YouTube.
YouTube comments or Twitch, doesn't matter, baby. We are simulcast, so it doesn't matter. For those of you on YouTube, for those of you on Twitch. All right. I believe, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, right? It gets time stamped on the chats, right? See, now, as I'm looking at it, as I'm monitoring the chat myself, now I can see the timestamps. There you go. So I got the timestamps up on YouTube. So regardless of when you're hearing it, although I don't know if there's a delay, Sean. That's the problem with the YouTube. Either way, people, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to do that. That's what we're going by with the instructions on it. So, all right, again, one more time. Yeah, Sean's like, all good. I'm pretty sure I got it, Sean. And I got the timestamps up on Twitch. We're all good, man. All right? You get me nervous now. All right? Getting the people nervous. They're like, wait a minute. It's rigged. It's not
What's
rigged.
the rules? It's
All
rigged.
right?
It's rigged.
All right.
Oh,
Again,
man.
these are the rules, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, when you see my face like this, and you hear this sound,
some kind
and then I
of
say,
peace of mind.
we're getting mental. All right? Just like that. Type mental in the chat, just like Poopsie did on YouTube and on Twitch. All right? Don't matter when you do it. You just got to be the first one. All right? It's timestamped, so we'll call it. All right? We'll let you know who wins. 5 hats we're giving away all throughout the night, so tune in. All right? We got a guest coming in. I got to queue him up. All right? It's a good friend of W&I's. Very interesting conversation about substance abuse, mental health, a little bit of everything, grieving the loss of a loved one. We're going to basically break it down all. And again, if you would like to call in and you would like to participate, I left it in the chat already, but
we encourage that.
we encourage
Please,
that.
we encourage
You can call in. I don't know how many callers I will get to tonight. Obviously, we usually do an hour. We're already 20 minutes in, so we're probably going to go much longer. I will text my number again. All right, in the chat, please text me your name and a topic, and I will either text you back, say yes, and reach out to you and call you and get you on the show. If it's just a topic you want us to touch on, throw it in the comments. We'll gladly talk about it, all right? And again, thank you for showing up. Happy Mental Health Monday. Dub, one of the topics that you guys wanted to talk about this week while I queue up Jeff, all right, you get that started for me. We were talking a little bit about regret, right? That's what we wanted to touch on.
validation and validation validation seeking and regrets,
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff goes hand in hand, like we were saying.
Take it away, Papa. Take it away. You are.
Yeah.
All right. Validation. I think as we watched the world turn, especially in this new online era, we can call it, and we see it more than ever, but it's always been around, and it's something that we all want or have wanted, or or like, or desires validation. For speaking from my own experiences, I'm speaking about this because this is who I was, who I am. Especially as a youth, I used to always want to get recognized because me, Chris, I always was a confident young man. With siblings and
Right.
cousins all over the place, you're still trying to
Yeah,
find your
same.
spot, your niche from the higher ups, we'll call it. Parents,
Yeah.
teachers, whatever. People older people, the authorities, not the authorities,
Yeah.
but the old heads. The
Yeah, I
people,
think validation feels good.
yeah,
when
it feels good. It
seek
probably
it out.
definitely lets some dopamine to go. It's some kind but like maybe everyone is different. But my personal experience,
Different reasons. Yeah.
right. So like I said, I've always been a confident young man. I've always known who I was. I've always known what made me special. I always knew what bullied, but I always was good at taking stuff like that and
Right.
brushing that off. So I wasn't even a good victim of bullies, really. Because my
Right.
confidence was through the roof. Right. Couldn't tell me
Yeah.
shit. I'm smart. So, I always thought I can do things that all the other kids can do, even kids who are better at stuff. I think I could. So I always had a lot of confidence. So in that, I always wanted my folks or my aunts to tell me that I did this good or I did that good. I like
Because
that.
we're competitive. We're
Right.
competitive, so we want it to show. We want to know that it's showing and that
Very
it actually
competitive.
means something. Yeah.
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 There was this kid, he could sing
Big
his ass
time, man.
off in fourth grade. I forgot. He could sing his ass off, though. And the teachers were jocking. They were all over him. I'm like, yo, I could do that shit, too. So I swore I could sing. Because I wanted what he got. I wanted the star on the test, so I would go try to get a 90 or 95 or 100 because I wanted a little silver star, gold star. Any of them, I'll take
Hey,
them.
W, hold on real quick. Hold on.
What you got?
We're getting mental. This is your chance right now. Comment mental in the chat. Mental in the chat to win an exclusive Epis Sports Radio hat. Come on now, you got it. Let's go. YouTube and Twitch. Comment mental in the chat. Your chance now. Or never.
I see a YouTube.
Oh, crystallize. Gone. You win.
And Lady Poopsie hit us in YouTube. You're gonna, it's Mike, bro.
No. Poopsie was an old one. Crystallize with the first one. And with that, Crystallize wins the first hat of the night. Hey, shout out Crystallize. Congratulations. You are the winner of a new Epis Sports Radio hat. Reach out to me, Crystallize. Send me a DM anywhere, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Hold on. You got my stuff. Discord. And I'll get you information. We'll make it happen. All right. Poopsie wanted to make sure it worked. Yeah, Poopsie was doing it. Okay. All right. We'll get back to the conversation that we were talking about. But right now, I have a guest on the line waiting for us. His good friend of W and I's. We met him a long time. Well, I met him back in Midwood when I was working a private ambulance company in Brooklyn. I'm assuming W met him there as well, but you known him for way longer than me. All right. He's director of housing at the Good Life Treatment Center. All right. He's in charge of 2 properties with 26 clients and 10 behavioral health techs. It's a PHP program. All right. They do inpatient and outpatient, located in Singer Island in West Palm Beach. All right. He also works at a Lucid Treatment Center in West Palm Beach as a behavioral health tech. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. So he's got a lot to say, about treatment, all that, mental health related. Jeff, how are you, bud? What's going on? Thank you for joining Epis Radio, Mental Mondays with Epis. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. What up, Dubs?
Dub, can you hear him? I just want to make sure he's good.
No.
Oh, God. No? Not coming through? Try that again, Jeff.
W, you hear me, bud?
I heard something, but no.
Yeah, he would have to be, oh, man. All right, we got to make sure that, no. this may not go the way I wanted to.
Yeah, we're gonna have improv.
Hold on.
right.
We'll adjust.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to raise his volume just to see that. Try again, Jeff. One more time. Let's go.
Dubby!
Yeah, he's not picking up on your end. All right,
Nah, it's not picking
Jeff,
up good.
I'm gonna have to cut you. Hold on. Well, I'm gonna
You think
get back to you,
think
bud.
it's just the connection?
It might
been on
be.
the phones
Yeah, it might be only because the speaker. I gotta check with Zero on that one, real quick. But Zero, if you're in the chat, let me know. Yeah, I think Discord may not be picking up the voice. We've done this before though, and it did work good. For some reason,
Herm on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Junior
Dylan.
on there.
Yeah, Dylan was on there. Yeah. You know what?
Clear. So we're gonna forget.
If you wanna, can you re-talk on the whole
for sure. I'll
subject
pick it
that you
up.
guys were on, and let me see if I get in contact with
doubt.
but
So-
Crystallize, congratulations on the Epis Sports Radio, Jeff.
Yes,
I know you're
Crystallize.
listening, Jeff. We are going to see if we get you back on real quick.
We got 4 more hats, guys. We got 4 more to give out.
Oh wait, all right. Well, hold on. Crystallize is saying that it was coming on the stream side, so it may mean that you guys have to monitor it separately. Or
Okay, so
or
it's gonna be hard.
multi-caller
Okay.
on the phone. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, Poopsy's saying maybe do a multi-caller on the phone. Have Dubs and Jeff on the same call, and I guess Chris too. I could do that, and then I'll just mute you guys in the voice chat. Yeah. All right. I'll call you guys, but make sure your phones are on silent. I'll get that set up, and we'll do that. It's gonna be a little choppy.
You right now?
Bear with us, everybody. We really like to get Jeff back on the line. Yeah, I'll do that.
All
I'll
right.
conference call him because we got to get this. But thank you, Crystallize, for letting me know that it was all good. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you so
we
much.
We got to get him on here. And thank you, everybody, for staying tight with us. Again, 4 hats to give away tonight, so don't go anywhere. All right.
Got 4 more.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm ready for the call. I'm on silent.
All right, no doubt. Let's see. Yeah, if you want to touch base, what you were talking about before, guys, with the subject before,
Okay.
Regrets and all that. Just and look out for that call.
Validation.
Yeah,
Validation. So yeah, man, I was just saying this, wanting it, but still looking for it. But Chris, I really, a lot of times I don't know, it may be problem or not. I wasn't receiving it or I couldn't find it, So
Yeah. Some people are not good at giving it. They don't want to.
Right, that too. So, but a lot of times you find yourself around the wrong people because nowadays, when I'm not as a grown ass man, I'm not looking for it. I get it all the time. I get props and flowers and all that shit that people, but you don't even know what to do with it. Here goes Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt is calling me. I just missed it. I gotta put this. Maddie, one more time, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times you don't know what to do. Now I don't know what to do with it, but it's cool. Like I said, every day here he goes. It's always a work in progress. Yeah, Matt, I'm in here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess we're going to do this on the phone line. So I'm going to mute this, right, Chris? And he's going to come get you.
Yep.
Hold on. Yeah, Jeff? All right. I'm on here. So I'm muted. You're going to go grab Chris, right? Matt? Yeah.
Calling him now.
So I'm muted on the stream side.
All right, guys. There we go. All right. So sorry about that, everybody. We got all the callers in here. Jeff, are you with us?
Yeah, I can hear all you guys.
All right.
Great. There we go.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, you got the introduction, Jeff. Would you like to introduce yourself now?
Well, thanks for having me on the show. My name is Jeff Mirto. I moved down to Florida about 4 years ago after COVID hit. And didn't know what to do. As you said it before, I met both you guys working at Midwood Ambulance. I think I worked there 13 years. I started in 2010. I met Dubby right away. We hit it off right away because I love the sports in St. John's. That place, Midwood, is special. I'm sure to all 3 of us, but I met a lot of good friends who I still speak to.
Yeah.
A lot from Midwood. That was a special place. Very special place. I never thought it would go that way, but it did. But getting back to what I do now, I came out here, like I said, after COVID hit. My wife got cancer, 2018 and died 2020. And I didn't hit fast, didn't know what to do, and I had no idea that she and my sister were talking the whole time she was sick about me and my son Noah moving down here. So my sister asked me, I said, sure, came down here, and the first 6 months, I guess, I was here, and I couldn't find a job because COVID was still going on, and a lot of places were closed, but I wound up getting an interview to be a BHT, which is a behavioral health technician, at a rehab facility, and I fell in love with it right away. And weird thing is I never thought that there was just so many places down here. Like that's all it is. It's vacation spot and rehab facilities, which is weird. But I am 14 years sober. I got sober in 2010 once I found out I was having Noah. I got addicted to pain pills from playing baseball and basketball. It got out of hand, and I remember when Carly told me she was pregnant, I stopped cold turkey. It was rough, but I did it. I just couldn't see not paying for drugs instead of paying for stuff for my son.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not anyone. It can get, when people say it's hard, it is hard, but it's you gotta look at your life and take inventory and realize this isn't going so well. And then I got the job at Midwood. That helped, saving lives. Even though it was private ambulance company, I couldn't. Yeah, it really was. And I mean, I had a little bit of help. My I don't know if you know Marty, who works there. He was my cousin. I had no idea about him until I got my EMS license, and my aunt told me about Midwood, and I got hired through my cousin. And they busted my chops every day, Anthony and Paul calling me his grandson and blah, blah, blah. But, it was, listen, like I said, man, that was a great place to work. Yeah. It really was. And it was terrible when they sold the place to the people who own it now, because the people who own it now ran it into the ground. And it's, yeah.
Jeff,
you know what's funny? Dubs, young Matt, I don't know if you heard this too. My old partner, Chris, called me the other day and gave me he gave me a number for a lawyer. I said, what is this for? And he says, if you worked for Midwood between 2009 and 2012, you could be eligible for reimbursement. So I said, what the hell is that? Yeah, they were, I guess the new owners were keeping money. Wow. So I called the lawyer. I called the lawyer, and I had to give him some information. I mean, I was only there. Yeah.
Very interesting.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Not from 2009. From 2019. Correct. To 22. Correct, yes. I apologize. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was about, but those people I took it over. I remember this guy, I don't even remember his name.
So we're available for compensation for that.
All right. And I know we got some people who watch the show. That guy who took it over, the Jewish guy, I don't know his name. I forgot his name, but dude, it was one time when I went from.
I do know his name, but I'm not going to say it. Should I say it?
I was working overnight at that time because I would have to take care of Carly during the day, taking the chemo, take it. And I get back to the base after my shift's over, and Kale tells me he wanted me to call him. I said, okay. So I didn't even call him that day because I had to go back home and go to she needed a blood transfusion. So I was still in my uniform. I went 10 hours of blood transfusion, then went into work. I called him on my way into work. And I asked him, I said, you said you wanted to speak to me. I didn't really saw the guy because I worked.
Jeff, you're going in and out there, buddy, a little bit. Try to.
Hear me now?
You're good. You're good.
A little better. There you go. Better. Sorry, guys. So
you're good.
I called him and I said, what did you need to speak to me about? He says to me, he's like, no, I just wanted to know why we're losing you again.
Yeah, we're losing you again, Jeff.
Whatever you did before, keep doing that. I'm not moving. I'm in the same spot. Oh, shit.
It's that Florida connection, man. All right, we'll try it a little bit longer. Jeff, I did want to, I'm sorry, I did want to talk more about the job and everything, things like that. What some of the, the residents and the inpatient are going through. And your role, with them and your experience with a lot, helping people and just being in that environment. I can relate a little bit. Not so much, drug related, but I currently work at a cancer center now, so just dealing with cancer patients on a daily. I know the mental toll it takes on me, and just to see what others go
God bless
through
you.
on a day to day. It's tough, man. I've had patients cry right there, right in that chair, right to me, and open up to me when I was not expecting it. And
Ready
last,
to receive it, right?
right. I'm assuming you have experienced
Yeah, that's a great question.
more of
Yeah.
the same and or something similar, or even more,
It takes
so.
a special person. Matthew, thank you for doing that, because that takes a special person to deal with people with cancer every day. But I got into this, like I said, a behavioral tech there's the two places I work for. Like I said, one of them is just strictly addiction. And the new one that just opened up is for mental health. Two totally different. Like, I could bust chops at work with the addiction patients.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I have to watch what I say around the mental health patients.
Yeah,
anything could set them off. The trigger, yeah. Okay? So like I said, 3 years working as a behavioral tech. Basically what we do is, we'll give them their meds in the morning. We take them, we drive them back and forth from their housing is on Singer Island, and then we take them to clinical, which is basically class every day. They go Monday to Friday.
So when you say housing, these are people are
inpatient.
Are they the inpatient? Okay.
Correct.
None of them are charges. None of them have charges or anything. Just inpatient mental health facility.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We have some that are court ordered, and the rest of them all they come because they want to get help. Now, normally,
excellent. Okay.
Depending on when they meet with their therapist, and what the therapist thinks how long they should be there, it could be anywhere from 30 days to 90 days. Some people might stay longer. It has to do with their insurance. Insurance plays a big part in it. And like I said, we take them Monday to Friday. They're in class just like school, and they're working out their stuff. And then on weekends, they have to themselves. Saturday and Sunday we do an activity. Whether it's bowling. This past Saturday, we went kayaking.
Wow,
which I thought was
awesome.
pretty fun. Yep. And Sunday, usually after themselves, they'll have a community dinner. Everyone cooks. I choose 2 people a week to cook. They could cook whatever they want. We go out and buy them their stuff, and they cook on Sundays. And Sunday I go work at the mental health place. The owners that own both places are fantastic. They're both in recovery as well. And they're younger than me, which makes me laugh. I guess I'm getting really old. I turned 47, but the place is fantastic. And you learn a lot about people, because the first thing with addiction is you have to admit that you have an addiction, because if not, because we have some clients that'll come in. And it's sad that they do this just because they don't want to move on with their life. They don't want to go out and get a job. Unfortunately, you could do this. You see people go from place to place so they don't have to work, so they don't have to get an apartment, and they'll stay in these treatment centers. They'll bounce from treatment center to treatment center as long as their insurance will pay for it. To me, that's terrible, because you're taking away a bed from someone that really wants to get help.
Yes.
So now that I took over, that I am the director, the owners actually, when we get a new client that comes in, they'll have to do their intake. They'll have to, give a UA. They'll have to blow and do a BA, check their level of alcohol. But I'll tell the owners right away if I think the person's BS, and I don't think the person should be here. Sometimes they'll take my advice. Sometimes they won't. But now that we have the other mental health facility, if I look at the person's pre-admission and think, I don't think this person has a problem with addiction, I think it's more mental, they'll take my advice and we can move them over to the other facility. The other facility is brand new. It's been open maybe 2 months, and it's the only thing I could tell you guys is it is taxing. My phone is on until I fall asleep. I'm constantly on call. The other day, my son sang the national anthem at a minor league game here, and I get a call from one of my techs saying that one or two of the clients got into a fight. So I take my son and we drive over there.
Yeah, go.
And the fight stopped, but then all of a sudden another guy comes down the street who was a former client of ours. He was drunk, he's on our property. He can't be on our property, so I throw him off. 10 minutes later, he comes back, and I'm calling the cops. I'm trying to walk this poor guy up the street, and he takes a swing at me. So it does, it is. It is a rough job. Yeah, it is.
No doubt about it, Jeff. Yeah.
But I never thought I would fall in love with something like this.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you before, Matt, I wanted to do EMS when I came down here.
Yeah.
That was my plan, but there's no EMS. It's just it's the one AMR is down here. It's private company. Everywhere else.
Jeff, we're losing you a little bit there, bud.
We're losing you a little bit, Jeff.
Shit. I know.
What about now?
You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got AMR down here, Jeff. Hell yeah, they got AMR. I've been seeing them out here in Central Florida, too.
For those of you that don't know, AMR is another private ambulance company. It's down there.
American Medical Response.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, they're probably the biggest company
In the country.
in the country. I actually went to interview there when I moved down here, and the guy saw all the experience I had, but I wasn't good. I couldn't do private anymore. I couldn't, even though there's no projects down here, so there's not too much carrying. Everything is, they have all the electrical friggin' stretches. Even the counties have electrical stretches. Like you have to be a fireman. If you want to work as EMS, you have to work for the county and be a fireman. Right. No shot of me being a fireman at 40-something years old. But, it's a little
neat.
Yes, with my knee.
Jeff, I we have been going a little while here. We can't keep you too much longer, but I did want to just touch on one more thing. Obviously, losing your wife to cancer. Can't stress it enough the impact that has had on not only your lives but your kids, family, everybody around you. I know the feeling all too well. Of course, I've never lost my wife, so I can't really relate there. But having lost my father due to cancer, multiple friends, family members, I just touch a little bit about that. The grieving process.
Yeah, Jeff, how'd you do it, man? Matty, this guy came down the same time. You've been through. How'd you do it? Like you've gotten through so much. You shared your story socially.
Listen,
and so a lot of us know it. It's an incredible story. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
My life story, honest to God, could be on my channel. My mother died of cancer on my 18th birthday. It was the day of my senior prom. That was first. Then my brother got it, but he was lucky enough. He got prostate. He was lucky enough to beat it. Yeah, I'd never expect my wife to get it. She was healthy as an ox, and she got it. And my mother got it. She died within 6 months. Okay, then my wife fought for 2 years. I mean, I actually took one of the stair chairs from Midwood, and I would carry her up and down the stairs to her appointments. The way she died from hemorrhagic stroke. Okay, I put her in an ambulance to go get the blood transfusion. I remember saying I just worked a shift. I couldn't stay awake, so my aunt took her to get a transfusion. I woke her up that day, put her in the ambulance. I told her I love her.
Jeff, fix yourself real quick, buddy. You get in and out,
Yeah, please. Shit.
It's all right, Jeff. We're holding on for you. We're holding on, Jeff.
Well, it was the sound while you was getting to that part and telling us.
I can hear you.
Now, go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
You're good, man.
No. Listen, I'll go outside for you guys. All right, so.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate
like I said,
you said you put her in the ambulance, and
I put her in the ambulance. That was the last time I spoke with her. Okay, my aunt called me that night, said that she stopped talking, and they were transferring her to Staten Island North, where I lived, and me and Noah, and this is the part that bothers me the most when it comes to my son. I was 18 when my mom died. Noah was 10, but Noah stood by my side the whole time. He wanted to go to the hospital. She made it 2 days. She died on the ventilator. I knew the nurses at the hospital. I said, make sure you call me as soon as her blood pressure drops. They did. And I actually sat there and watched my wife take her last breath. That's the image I cannot get out of my head. I still struggle with today. I do talk to someone about it. So that's why when you tell me, Matt, that I didn't know that you work at a cancer hospital, that has to. God bless you, because I have a hard time, and this is now going on 5 years. You're around cancer patients every day, so God bless you. That takes a strong person And I could tell you now, when my mother died, I didn't talk to anybody. I kept everything in, and that's why I started using drugs. I remember I smoked my first joint on the way to my mother's wake. And I promised myself that with Noah, that he would not, well, I mean, he's a lot younger, but I make sure he speaks to someone. He speaks to a therapist in school once a week.
Yeah.
Listen, anytime you lose someone close, it's hard. But
you're playing it so perfectly.
I feel like I've had this black cloud. I mean, here, after my wife died, my sister, who's like a twin, we're a year and a day apart, I came down here with her. She had cancer the whole time, too. She didn't tell me because she still on his brain. She had part of her kidney removed. She's beaten cancer. So, then you hear all these people, I don't, I believe in, I love God, I'm a Catholic, but when people tell you, oh, God has a plan, what plan is it to take the people that you love for something good to happen? Something bad has to happen for something good to happen. So I struggle with that, but I get up every day. I thank God for my son. He keeps me going. It's still a struggle, but I love to fight. I'm always going to fight. I'm going to make sure my son didn't do what I did. That's my goal as a father. I'm sure any of us as parents, you want your kids to be better than we were. And that's my plan. And I get to, least I could say, I get to go to work every day. And if I could save one life, that's a good day. I get Google.
So Jeff, recently, I mean, during this...
Dub, real quick, one more, baby, one more. We ain't got too much time for the show. Jeff, just want, again, man, quick condolences, everything, that you've been through, your wife, everything, all the friends, family loss. And then God bless you, man, for going through, you say, it's a lot for me to be around, but, you're doing the righteous work down there as well, bro. You always have been doing it. You've been in the field, healthcare industry, long time. It takes a great deal of mental strength to put up with you put up with, especially doing it, with the kids, man. It's just, the whole nine. We love you, man. So, Dub, real quick, and Chris, if you would like to, man, you get one in there for you guys. We do got to continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, I know Jeff real well. I know Jeff many years, almost 20 years now. So I know a lot of his story. I've talked to Jeff about this stuff. So I just want to, also this part of the story, there was a part which you went down with your sister, and she had a loss as well around the same time. Is that correct?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Your sister had a loss as well, correct?
Oh yeah,
right. You captured
she lost her husband.
Right. You support her now. Go.
Right. I sent my son down here after my wife died. I had to pack up the house. I sent Noah down here after my birthday, which was May 30th, so he could have a summer. Because even though COVID hit New York, people were going out down here. I sent my son down here on June 25th. My little brother calls me crying. I said, "What's the matter?" My sister's husband got hit by a car and killed. So I got in that car. I was not going to move down here for another month. I got in the car 2 days later, and yes, my sister and I, we helped raise. She has 2 boys, and I have Noah. And then the worst part, this is what I'm saying when in a black cloud. Yeah. My sister's son Ryan almost got killed. He got hit by a car the same way his dad did. Got hit by a car. I got called to work. He almost died. He was on a ventilator. Wow. He fractured his skull in 6 places. Broke his wrist. He's fantastic. He's playing baseball again. He made a full recovery.
God bless him. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's been rough, but you just stay positive and good things could happen.
Yeah.
Man, Jeff, man.
Bro, we could keep him going, right?
No questions. No questions. I just want to tell him how much I admire you.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten up with you. Me and Jeff came down here at the same time, and I was going through my shit, but I always knew what Jeff's going through, so I was like, yo, bro, you're good, bro. My man down here in Palm Beach County is going through hell. But,
I'm pissed that we didn't get together when Matt came down. I couldn't get off of work.
I know. We're gonna get up with you, bro.
We'll be back there. We'll be back there next spring, so don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Chris, anything?
You see who has the best transfer class in college basketball this year? St. John.
We're gonna be talking about. We're gonna have you on. Okay, of course, we're gonna have you on.
Yes.
Chris,
I appreciate you guys having me.
Hold on, Jeff. Before you go, I just want to see if our other co-host Chris wanted to ask you anything before you're out of here. Chris?
Yeah.
I know you said that you when you said you saw your wife take her last breath. My condolences with that, and but that reminded me of my cousin, who was like a brother to me. I saw the same thing, and it kind of threw me into a loop of doing more pills and drinking more. And this was like 14 years ago that this happened. But I don't. How did you get over that as far as like basically to I think you said you turned to substances more and stuff like that, right?
Well, I turned to substance when my mother passed away in '96. And now that I'm a father, there's no way in hell I would ever think about turning back to substance. And what's sad is my sister actually thought I did, but I got COVID working on the ambulance, and I stayed in bed for 2 days and slept. She assumed that I did. And I was just tired. I was just tired. But listen, the best thing you could do is whether you talk to someone or write a journal. Get it out. You cannot keep that stuff. From the first experience, I didn't talk to anyone, and I kept that inside, and that's when I turned to substance. But the pain's still there. Once that substance, and this is for anyone in addiction, once that substance wears off, all your problems are still there. So the best way is, for me, it was I write stuff down. I call a place called out here in Florida. It's called Trust Bridge. It's free. You could speak with a nurse for hours. They'll sit and listen to you. That's what I did. But the pain never goes away. You just learn how to deal with it better. That's the best thing I could say. Like I still, every picture on my wall I have. My wife's ashes are next to my bed. So it's something that'll never go away. I just learn how to deal with it better, and I take my job, and I try to heal those people. And I know my wife would be happy because she was a PA, she was a doctor as well, so I know she would be happy. That's
Jeff,
how I get through it, Chris.
Just want to say thank you, man, for coming on today. Your story was definitely heard and has just been powerful. And I just can't thank you enough, man. I know. There's so much we can. But yes, again, bro, thank you for sharing your journey.
You heard what he said.
No, I didn't actually catch that. Oh, what you say?
Where's my hat?
Oh, don't worry, Jeff. I will get you an exclusive hat. Don't worry, that's a side piece for you. Just that's my personal giveaway to you. All right, we love you, bro.
Thank you, my
very
friend.
much.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, and we're gonna connect soon.
Those videos.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate
those videos. I love them.
All right, Jeff. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff, man. You're my man, my brother. Thank you, Jeff. Talk to you soon.
Good speaking with you guys. See you.
All right, Jeff. That our good friend Jeff Mirto. Again, you hear his story about going through all the losses, with his wife and family and friends and just everything he's going through while taking care of a kid, battling addiction over the years, and still standing somehow, right? And still somehow helping the community, doing, mental health work, addiction work, just phenomenal. And there's as many more people like him doing work similar that you just praise. And it's tough, man. Again, I like what he said near the end there for you, Chris, about journaling. About journaling, right. Going through it. It's or at least talking to somebody, having seeing a therapist. For his sons, he's talking about his sons being in school, talking to the guidance counselor, seeing outside therapy. I did it growing up. It was important after my dad died, definitely helped. I don't currently have a therapist, but I'm not opposed to one either. I like to think you guys are my therapist by hanging out with you every Monday night. I mean, that's enough therapy I need, and, talking with people like Jeff and just having these powerful conversations, these uplifting, relatable conversations, sometimes can be dark, but ultimately uplifting. And it's just a beautiful thing to hear that stuff, man.
Jeff always was willing to share his story and talk about what he was dealing with. Since I've known him, he's always been like that. So, he's with his post, even, he just good energy guy, good positive guy, even when the dark cloud on him. Like, I've always admired him,
What a strong dude, man.
Yeah, especially since what he's been going through the last 6-7 years. I always admired him. Every time like I seen him post or just hear from him or anything, I'd be like, oh yeah, he always gave me energy, Chris. Like, yo, because if this guy is good, can get, you know what I'm saying? If this guy can get through this shit,
you can push through. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if Maddie can run for an hour straight, you probably could do it one day too. It's that kind of motivation. Yeah, man, because what he's going through is a lot though, man. Or he's been through. And it's a good friend of mine, brother of mine, good man, So
it shows the people out there you could do it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great that we were all here talking about it. Chris, you were doing it in episode 6. You were giving it up to letting us, this is awesome. And we're not here to judge. We're here to listen because all of us we all have warts. We're flawed. Yeah. And we're just a moment in time. That's all we are.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
Very
before
true.
we get on with the other topics today, I just have something to say for you guys. We're getting mental. Type comment mental in the chat. Mental in the chat. Comment now for your chance to win an Epis Sports Radio exclusive Mental Poopsie coming in on Twitch. Did anybody from YouTube comment mental? Your chance now. I think it goes to Lady Poopsie with an exclusive win for the Epis Sports Radio hat. Thank you for showing up. Show up as always, folks. All right, we are giving away 3 more hats tonight. All right, so stay tuned for your chance to win. All right, we have now given away 2 exclusive Epis Sports Radio hats. 3 more. All right, everybody. Doing good. All right, those of you that are just joining in right now, you have 3 more chances to win a hat. W loves it. He's like, this is exciting. I love it. I love switching the screen. I almost want to do it again. Should I do it again? Give it to everybody else?
Whatever makes you feel good.
Do a quick one. You better watch out because I might just throw them back to back. I don't know. All right.
You got 3 more, bro.
We are at the top of the hour.
I think
all
you're
right.
lying, bro. Yeah, I don't think we're not going anywhere real soon.
We are at the 11 o'clock hour. We just got done talking to a good friend of ours, Jeff Mirto, about addiction, mental health, the whole 9. If you guys would like to participate in tonight's show, all right, if you're new to the show, I have the instructions there in the chat in Twitch and YouTube. My cell phone number is in there. Don't go crazy. Don't go calling me right away. But you could text me. Dawn, coming to Dawn. You're too late, babe. Oh, you know what? I think Dawn is on delay. No, she's trying with the mental, but I wonder if she's getting it on
YouTube,
delay.
Yeah.
Because she's getting, she just stamped at 11 p.m. I might just have to get Dawn.
And go.
Yeah. Yeah, because I see her just texting now. That's there might be a slight delay. Give it to Dawn. All right, Dawn, you got it, baby. How about this? Right. I feel bad for you because you typed it twice, and there might be a delay on YouTube. So mental in the chat. Mental, Dawn's going. We're giving away the 3rd Epis Sports Radio hat of the night. All right. For those of you that don't know, we're giving away hats. We got 2 more on deck. Lady Poopsie gets one. Crystallize got the first one of the night. And and Dawn Rhodes coming over there from YouTube. All right. She's like, this is fun. Dawn Rhodes, you win an exclusive hat as well. So there you go. All right, not everybody gets one. All right, we got 2 more hat giveaways, okay? I will be mindful to those in the YouTube chat, all right? Since, there might be a slight delay. So, we got 2 more giveaways. We'll see which way it falls for those coming from Twitch and YouTube. All right, congrats, Dawn, on the hat. All right, guys, do you want to touch on the subject? $10. Do you want to touch on the subjects that we were talking about before? Do we have a new one that we want to touch on? I know.
This mental health, all of this stuff is so correlated with each other. So, you can just.
Yeah. I was going to say regrets, man.
Yeah, regrets. Regrets. Go ahead, Chris.
I have a few. I was about to say, there you go, baby. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it. Kick it off, Chris. Kick it off. Oh, no. Hold on. Dawn. It's okay. I'll take participation credit. I have 102 fever and still trying. Oh, okay. So you're saying that you were late to the party? Dawn, you get one. All right, baby. You commented twice tonight. You're the only one in the YouTube chat tonight commenting mental. So you get one on the sheer fact that you were the first to the YouTube chat tonight. So how about that?
YouTube,
don't worry.
We
We
have
love
that
you.
delay, so we don't want to handcuff the YouTube people.
Yeah, we don't want to handcuff you there, Dawn. If we seen other people in the chat, then we gotta maybe roll the dice a little. But Dawn, we appreciate you for showing up. It's a beautiful thing. But if you are in the chat right now, right, you want to talk about a certain topic, you want to call in, you could come on. All right, text me. 347-870-1170. Text me your name and topic. We will get it going. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We're going to keep it rolling tonight, everybody. We got 2 more hats to give away. A quick shout out to Twisted Reality 20 for the raid earlier. I'm sorry I didn't catch you because, you and Zero were coming in the raid at the same time, blowing me up.
Thank you.
So I appreciate that, Twisted Reality. It's a beautiful thing. Keep showing up. All right, regrets. Chris has got a few.
Yeah, regrets, man.
I got a few. I don't know if I got
about regrets, bro.
Yes.
What about them?
That they exist.
Right. You know what else sucks about regrets? You can't change them.
Yeah. So you can't.
You do nothing about it.
It's funny. I have "Be Here Now" tattooed on my forearm, and you're human. You still regret. You still go back. But it's in a way it's kind of good that they exist because it kind of teaches you what you don't want to move forward with, right? What you don't want to do and all that.
Absolutely.
But,
regrets are
we're
scars,
human,
man.
It's gonna happen, bro. We're human, Like people say, don't look back. You're gonna look back sometimes. You just can't. You just can't stay stuck at it in it.
Would you like to share some of the regrets you might have? I personally, looking back on my life, I don't know if I really, have too many regrets, if at all. Like in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty, and I've done a lot of crazy shit, in that sense.
Yeah. Like a few, Yeah, there's like a few. There's definitely a few in there.
Would you like to share with the crowd, with the class, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, like I touched up on other episodes, man.
Yeah.
The substance abuse and everything, and
we could touch on
following through on my goals and all that stuff. Getting hurt in baseball when I was 18, and getting into substances and the wrong crowd, and letting the girls distract me and all that stuff. That's something I still think about today. I miss baseball like crazy, man. Like I think a lot of people said I probably, maybe, you never know. I mean, it's hard to make it, but I think I would have went pro or at least minors. And I was really good, and it was just like I never saw myself doing anything else. That was it. I was going to be a professional baseball player, and that just kind of went out the window quick. When all you got to do is like just mess up a little bit and just not really think twice about what you're doing and just keep doing it.
And then these decisions are made. These decisions are made when we're so immature. Our brain ain't even developed yet. And we have to make these decisions 17, 18, 19, 20. You can make the biggest mistakes of your lives. I made some of the biggest mistakes of my life in between 17 and 22. Things you can't change, things that can be held over your head 20 years later or for the rest of your life.
These things can stick with you, right?
Yeah. Regrets, but they're a good thing too.
Like we were talking about too.
They're a good thing too because regrets are scars. They really are. But you said you don't want to dwell on them, but you could look and see, oh yeah, I remember where I got that, and
right,
and it reminds you.
Things,
But scars are roadmaps to the soul, bro. They make us who we are.
Yeah,
right.
They are us. Shit. So I feel you so much because I have my regrets. Like I said, I made mistakes when I was in the Navy. I made mistakes in high school. Not giving a shit about myself because I wasn't getting validated. The validation I wanted. So I didn't give a shit. You don't care about the 94 I got on my test? I'm not giving you no more 94s, Mom.
Which can be reckless.
Self-destructive. So,
interesting you bring up validation. It was something I did want to talk about myself. Especially growing up, I think a big part of it for me was not having that validation, losing my father at a young age. Seeking that validation through another fatherly figure throughout the years, or whether it be my coach, a teacher, things like that. It definitely
which is normal. You had a void you needed to be filled, and it will never be filled with a correct perfect substance because it's gone, but you have to find something to fill it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you don't necessarily have to, but I guess that's the inherent, human nature to do so, right? You know, it's just
you think you do.
You know,
especially as a youth.
No doubt. Yeah, and it's easy to fall in that trap. You know, feeling that sense of void, and then falling into substance abuse. Things like
I
that.
got validations. I got validation from troublemakers, and I was getting in trouble too now. And I was super duper hard, and I could be a tough guy. I could do whatever I needed to be done.
Right.
I could be a nerd, be a tough guy, whatever. You know, so I can get validation from people you shouldn't be looking for validation from. So, you know, and it's not no one's fault. You know, I didn't or my folks or my teachers or whoever the heck they didn't give me what I needed, but looking for it and I think a lot of people go through, a lot of young people go through it. They're going through it now. And I'm just bringing it up because maybe we could see it, people see it in their kids or whatever, but looking for it wasted a lot of time, Chris, and it put me around the wrong people. And now you're around people who will never validate you because they're competing with you. And you don't even know. You were talking about competition earlier. You know, it's funny because we do our show, and the relationship I have with you guys, all we do is throw flowers at each other. Oh, that was nice. I like that. You like that, you know?
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just it's interesting, man. But the scars and the regrets, bro, they're always going to be there. But I think we can definitely use it as a pole vault or a boost. Motivation. You know, motivation. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, what's the other coin to that? You know, it's falling into a deeper depression or
wither up and die.
Yeah. Right. Essentially, you know, I mean. And in terms of, making those mistakes, you got to learn from your mistakes. You fall into that trap of, the reoccurring mistake over and over again. Not having that sense of acknowledgement. A little bit of accountability towards certain things. And again, that comes with maturing. It comes with aging.
Everybody wants a validation. Everybody wants it. You got guys, you got these kids get committing crimes and they post it so they can say, hey, look, I'm top for whatever. It's like that validation. I do bad things too. I get down like this too. Everybody's looking for it. The selfies, we all take them. Like I post my numbers. We all want it, but there's different levels of needing it, the stuff that some people, like Chris, some might could pick up a drug and they're on it forever. And some people, I don't give a shit about it. So everyone's different. But
that's why I regret needing validation, man, because it made me do worse shit sometimes.
Right. Man, I can definitely relate to that, trying to be around people who didn't even, who you didn't even know really you weren't supposed to be around,
Right. Yeah.
And waiting for I had a friend of mine when they told me this friend of mine used to always say, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that. And one time I told him, I said, yo, do you ever say when someone's doing good shit? Or you know what he told me? He said to me, it's not my job to tell you when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, damn, yo, this person I know a long time. And when he told me that, I was like, damn, we're not really. I don't believe in what you're saying, bro. It is your job if you're going to say you're a fuck up, you're going to say, I like that too. So, and I realized it was a friend who was competing secretly, but I didn't even know, stuff like that. But regardless, there's always got to be a balance, right? So with our regrets and being our sorrow, we have to find that glow. We have to find that light too. We have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all part of it.
We have to.
Right.
What's that sound? Oh, we're getting mental. Type in the chat right now, mental. Type in the chat right now, mental, for your chance to win an exclusive Epis Sports Radio hat. It's your only chance. There's 2 more left. This is it. Type mental now in the chat, whether you're coming from YouTube or Twitch. Free of charge. Your hat to give away. Do we have any takers? Type mental now. Going once, twice.
Well, whenever they type it.
Alrighty. Well, the offer still stands, everybody. The offer still stands. Just type mental in the chat for your chance to win. Yes, Doug.
All right. Yeah. So, just, I'm always speaking from my own experiences. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not a doctor. So just off of Ernell Jean's perspective in my life.
Chris, Zero coming in with the mental.
There it is.
There you go. And Zero takes the 4th hat of the night. Congratulations, Zero. Thank you for participating. We love you. All right. One more hat to give away, everybody. That's it. It's been a crazy good night. All right. We appreciate all of you showing up. All right. One more hat to give away. We're going to be sticking around for a little while. Again, if you'd like to participate, text me 347-870-1170. You could either call in or just text me, with a topic you'd like us to talk about, or you can just comment in the chat and let us know. But if you want to get on live with us, give me a text first with your name and a topic, and we'll get you on the show. All right. Dub, sorry to cut you off one more time now.
Yeah. Where were we, Chris? I was vibing with Chris. Chris feels me like, yeah, but I definitely feel you though.
Validation. From, and that could lead us to do crazy stuff.
Yeah, you're in a gang. I think I was in a gang before a couple times.
You think or you were?
Yeah, I was in a gang in July for like a week and a half.
Baby?
Like a week in 7th grade. Like, what the hell am I doing here? But I was a fake Decept in like 7th grade. Yeah, fake Decepticon.
I had my own little crew in the 4th grade. I was rocking a Ninja Turtle book bag and directing my own little crew. It's like,
here's one for you.
Right. But it felt better to have the validation from the older guys like that, like the actual neighborhood and shit. And I'm like, this feels good, man. But it just led to trouble, bro.
The culture I grew up in and that Caribbean culture I grew up in, kids weren't celebrated like that. Children's accomplishments. You were supposed to do that shit, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And the same with my friend who said that shit. He's a Caribbean kid. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to do that shit. So I'm not gonna try to knock my folks. I wasn't gonna get it from, but me, I was raised here though, and they're from there. So that barrier, they're trying to raise these American kids, and they have a Haitian their Haitian culture. So they have to deal with their own shit. And you don't know that. As an adult, I start to understand it better. You know what I mean, Matt?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, you're looking for it and you're in this tough neighborhood. So, and I have a great home. So the battle between good grades and trouble was such a seesaw. You know what I'm saying?
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Bro, it was crazy. It was hard, bro. Then, the older you get, and a couple of screw ups here or there, a couple of screw ups I had here in my grades, then I'm getting strung up by the folks. So I'm like, hey, when I do the good shit, I don't get these super praises. But when I screw up, I'm getting strung up to the high heavens. F this. So I start doing what I want.
Exactly.
Start doing what I want. Start doing what I want. And then that's where shit gets a little, tricky. But we're gonna be here. We're gonna tell a lot of stories here. Yeah.
I did. I did want to touch on another topic before we, go tonight. More so a little bit more modern, not really, past life regret, but it has to do a little bit with validation, things like that. This day and age of social media, how heavily wrapped up we're in it.
Big time.
I think it's a bit of something, at least with the newer generation for sure. Our generation, W, a little, older than me, Chris, you too. But you guys know both sides. Growing up,
we're tweeners. Me and Chris are tweeners.
Very little technology into the complete technological age. The validation seeking that we see on a day-to-day basis.
The validation era.
Right. Want to talk about really like how you guys cope. I'll touch a little bit on about myself. Just what are ways to coping and detaching yourself and straying away from, especially as content creators, that we are now, right?
It's taken me a long time, bro, to understand the dynamics between, maybe just because of my personality individually, but just the dynamics between the internet. And I always say that, I tell my sister, I tell you on the internet, listen, this is only like 20% real. Like these people aren't even like that. No one would say that to you. Bro. Right. But it is what we're living in. So it's like, it's a paradox like a mother,
It's a Black Mirror episode all in one.
Yeah, Chris, Matt, when Facebook first came out, like I'm always that guy. Like, oh, people aren't being real. I don't like people. When I say real, I mean just straight up say what you mean, like a New Yorker. You know, if you don't like me, you don't try to act like you do. That's what I mean by being real.
Yeah.
You know. So you started seeing. It drove me insane how fake the internet was.
Yeah.
2009 when Facebook dropped me. But it was just incredible the way it happened so fast, the wave. But it took me a while to get adjusted, probably when I started doing YouTube programs in 16, 15.
Yeah.
And I started really separating it. And, maybe now you see how I'm the unbothered soul. Don't worry about it. But
I think that's a part of it. And that's where I was kind of alluding to, especially with me. When I first started out doing a lot of things, I was so hesitant to put content out there out of the sheer fact that I didn't think people would like it, or they would criticize it, and it's like
I cared too. Yes,
it's
I
something.
Cared how you looked, cared how you sound, cared about everything we used to. Yes,
and it's something that personally, I really could care less. I like to be mindful of these things just for the sake of good content, but ultimately, it's like, all right, you know what, it's more just about creation, and somebody, if one person likes it, okay. If nobody likes it, all right, it's another.
Because there's
whatever.
always going to be
fine,
someone that's like, oh, that's trash. You can never, no matter how well you do it.
I think early on, when we first started, and you mentioned it the other day, is that like when we first started posting videos, especially on the YouTube, we didn't even look at like numbers, and I think it was more of a mental trickery for ourselves to just say, what,
both of us
continue to do what we're doing, whether people like it or not. Because we were telling
ourselves we didn't care, because we kind of do, because we do.
We cared too much in the beginning, and we would, too conscious of what people thought, so it was just easier, much like an athlete, stays off of social media, things like that nowadays, because they can't handle the comments, the trolls, the things like that,
it's a
and
lot.
things like that.
It's a lot.
The mental toll it can take.
It takes a hell of a mental toll, just chipping away, bing, 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 like a rock and hammer, like a hammer and a rock. I mean,
and how is it for kids now?
Not let it get to you after a while,
right?
Like, you can't let it get to you, because you're never going to please everybody.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. Sorry, Dub. I can only imagine how it is for kids now growing up. The cyberbullying, the things like that, that ensues. I mean, I've seen it, with my older son, and just
the kid not to care about what other people say. They don't have anything to turn on. They don't make their own money.
Yeah.
They have to wait on some. How do you? Cause all they have is their persona, and they don't make their own money. They don't have to pay their own bills. Like Chris makes his own money, pays his own bills. So Chris can say, fuck the world, kiss my ass. Easier than a 13-year-old. It's hard. And we have to look at that.
Yeah.
We have to understand that part to understand, and we have
also
to give them that attention.
A little bit different when you could do it, over, the interwebs, as opposed to just doing it straight to somebody's face, right? It's a different time, growing up,
Instantly.
It's instant, right, like you said, there's just, and it's all over. It's just, it's endless if you really want it to be. And that's why you see a lot of people kind of, all right, there's either like one or two people nowadays, right? It's the ones that are on the internet, or they're completely like outside of it. They don't have any socials. It's going on.
After you're born in 96 or like that, 95, you don't know. All you know is the net. After you're born in 98, 96, that's all you know.
Yeah.
96, 94. With like social media and none of that.
After
stuff.
97, like you don't know. Yeah. So now, but even more, how does a parent or adults or how do we tell the youth?
Mm-hmm.
We can't.
How do you tell them to stay off of it?
We work on both sides, and there's only going to be a certain amount of people. Like everyone knows.
I think
we're gonna die.
It's important to have that conversation though. It's important to have, especially with your kids, things like that. You really got to open up to that conversation. I think limiting screen time,
and and unlike our folks, you have to keep it 100 with them, like, because they can find out if you're full of shit. They can go look at our digital footprint. Probably,
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got to keep it 100 with them. You can't front on nothing.
Things have changed in that sense as well.
It's
no
tricky,
doubt.
man. It's tricky as heck.
But I think, teaching the youth about, some of the dangers and a proper way to utilize internet and things to look out for and the negative aspects of it, explaining really all of it, and for kids, I do think you do want to limit their internet usage to, and halt it at a very later age. I know it's controversial for some, with younger kids, tablets, they like to give the kids the tablets, watch the shows, things like that. Even my, daughter, every now and then, we don't mind letting her watch something, but the screen time very limited.
That's ill, just
the
think
content.
about it. They send us to the backyard or right here somewhere they can watch us. We put them right there with the tablet and we watch them, but we can't watch them. That's crazy. You just said that to me now. I'm like, wow. You can put them, go right here and play. Right. Books is incredible.
Make them read,
now,
get outside. And that's something, that I've had to do for myself, as much as, I enjoy the content creation and we enjoy, talking with you guys weekly. I have to learn that outside of this, I detach, I go hiking, I go running, I have my hobbies, I have my interests, just where, I'm not, watching TV, I'm not on the phone, just go, relax, in the backyard, whatever it is, you got to find those ways. It's important.
When you we're looking at this screen, right? In this tunnel right now. When we get up and walk away, it's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because we're so locked in right now with the blinders on, right? Yeah, when we get up, we're like, oh shit, you have to get readjusted to the real world. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I stand up, we'll start grabbing my stuff off the table, shut it down. Like, oh wow, I have to get reacquainted. Yes, like yes, exactly. Some weird warp zone. I just come out like Mario, and I gotta get reacquainted with the real world and shit. And it's always imagine some of these kids, they are in this computer all day, and everyone feels like the computer is gonna make them rich.
Yeah,
it's the new American dream.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Like one of the main ways nowadays. Make
what's that? We're getting mental. Text mental in the chat right now. Text mental in the chat for your chance to win an exclusive Epis Sports Radio hat. This is the last one of the night, everybody. Text mental now in the chat. Before it goes to somebody, YouTube, Twitch, who's got it? The last one of the night, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you. Your chance, your last chance. Come and get it. Text mental now in the chat, whether you come from YouTube or Twitch. There you go. All right. So we're waiting on that. We might have to do that one more time if nobody's going to text it. But there you go. All right. Probably a good time to recap it, unless Chris Dubs, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about for this week? I know last week we talked, we were talking about songs that, resonated with us growing up, or just even modern day, songs that kind of touch the soul, a little therapeutic, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that again. You want to, talk about maybe a movie that, inspired you or gets you in the mood. Something.
I was finishing a run today. I'm going to save some music out, but I just want to tell you how I felt like. And I was like, man, I feel great. I'm in the greatest shape. Like, and I've been in probably my life, I mean, in this last couple of years, I'm back in pretty much great shape. I'm trying to get to another goal. But regardless, when I was open mic, I was like, damn, I don't have it. The negativity around me is so minuscule right now, Chris. Mm-hmm. Like people I love who have negative energy are still, the way I am right now, they don't even want to talk to me because I'm so, my positive, they don't want to talk to me because
that's okay.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful, right? Because of where I'm at, because how the energy I'm giving off is, I'm not a receptor of bad energy. I'm not,
right.
I'm not, and at one time I was that positive, what do you call it, empath? I was that positive host for negative energy. People call me up, tell you the worst. They only call you up to gossip or tell you the worst shit that's going on with them.
You probably let it affect you as
right, of course, right? Because being the friend I am, I've always been there to listen to that stuff. But I've taken myself away from those kind of those forced energies and force fields. But when I was running today, I was like, damn, man, I used to run like and have shit. I was pissed. I couldn't even find anything. Like I'm looking. I used to have use people's what they've done or done whatever as motivation. So now I don't even have that. I got to find some new shit. Some new motivation.
Slap yourself in the face or something.
Yes, man. Yeah. But I feel great, Maddie. I'm doing great. You know, that's why I said I was ready to come on here and talk, Chris. Like I can talk about anything. People ask me anything. I'm an open book. I'm transparent. I don't give a shit. I'm not hiding anything. I don't give a shit. Because people are gonna tell your story if you don't say anything. Nah, I'll tell you the story, motherfucker.
Well, I think one thing we learn, right? People always have something to say, whether negative, or positive. People will always talk, and again, at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is the opinion of yourself.
It's so sexy. I want to tell it. Chris has a hell of a story. Jeff has a hell of a story. Let Chris tell it. I can't tell Jeff's story. I know a bunch of the shit. I'm gonna tell it, and I'm gonna tell it best. So I'm ready.
Even if you tell it Monday, baby. Even if you tell it, doesn't necessarily mean somebody's listening, and that's okay. You stroll on your own down your own path. You pave your own way, and that's it, man. That's it. You'll be happier for it. Being the follower is never the way. You got to blaze your own trail, no doubt about it. It's something again. At a younger age. Oh, OMG, BB with mental in the chat. There it is. The last hat giveaway of the night. OMG, BB. Reach out to me, DM me. I do got my number there in the chat, so you could text me with
BB, I seen your strategy. I seen the strategy. You came, you left, you came back, you hit.
There you go.
BB been around, but BB probably
Congratulations to everybody that won a hat tonight. All right, we thank you for participating. We gave away all 5 hats. Reach out to me. My number is in the chat. You could also DM me on Instagram, Facebook, Discord, whatever. And just reach out to me. I'll get your info, and we'll set that up so we can send you that beautiful giveaway. Again, thank you, everybody, for all the support. Now, I didn't even check. I'm assuming.
Now I can go to bed.
I'm assuming. Dan, mental is. Dan, what's going on, Dan? You missed it, man. Dan, come on. You were 1 away right there from winning the exclusive hat, Dan. Maybe next time. Maybe you come back for the Keep Showing Up shirts, all right, Dan? When we hit 10,000 subscribers, everybody, on YouTube, we will be giving out Keep Showing Up shirts. That's the motto of the show. Just keep showing up. All right. And
one of those, man.
So be back. We come back for those. We are, I believe, at 5.4 thousand right now, but we're moving pretty fast, so we'll be at 10,000, I'm sure, in no time. And, we'll update you guys when that time comes. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. We're not done yet. Don't go anywhere, okay? We're going to recap this week's mental health video of the week. All right, if you those of you just coming in, I know Dan, where you been at, Dan? All right, thank you for coming in now. Just this close, Dan.
We had a great show. Yeah, we had a great show.
But again, to all the contestants that did win a hat tonight, all right, those of you Poop C0, I got you guys. Crystallize, hit me up, DM me. We'll get your info. BB, we'll get your info as well. I'll send it to you. And then, Dawn as well. I'll get you, Dawn. I know how to reach you. All right. Thank you for everybody, whether you come from YouTube or Twitch tonight. If you missed the interview at the beginning of the show with our good friend Jeff, please play that back on the recap. You could catch it on YouTube or Twitch. You could play that back when the show is capped. I don't know if you can play it back as we're going live now, but once we're done with the live, you'll be able to rewind and check out that interview. Very touching interview that we had with our friend. Talks a little bit of mental health, a little bit drug addiction, the whole nine, grieving, losing family members. Relatable on so many levels. And we just appreciate him coming on and sharing his story and his whole journey. It's a good friend of ours, and it's a beautiful thing. So, and again, tune in. Going forward, we'll have more interviews like that. We got a couple people lined up for some of the other shows coming. And again, I know we're getting to a close tonight, but if you'd like to participate at any point in the show going forward, maybe we might be squeezing one more caller tonight. But just text me, 347-870-1170 with your name and a topic. and we'll see if we'll get you on the show. All right. All the hats have been given away tonight. That is it, gentlemen. We are going to recap this week's mental health video of the week. Let me put that up for you guys. There we go. And if you haven't done so, again, to all the giveawayers, you got to be a subscriber for the YouTube. So if you're not, we got problems. No. And if you haven't, go over to the Epis Radio Instagram page. You also got our buddies right here at W. Dubois, Chris Rhodes. Check them out on Instagram as well. Give them a follow. All right, here's this week's mental health video of the week. Man, I don't know how people have the energy for Mondays, especially today. It's raining. What's there to look forward to? It's probably going to rain on the weekend, too. And then just back to work Monday again. What are you talking about? You don't like Mondays? It's a brand new way to start the week. It's a new lease on life. Or you gotta approach it differently. You just can't, go into it. Oh, it's Monday, it's negative. You're alive. Be grateful. Maybe I gotta change my perspective. Embrace the highs, embrace the lows. It's a part of life. Things are not always gonna go your way. You gotta approach it differently. You gotta turn it around. Make Monday a new day. Make Monday a fun day. You sure you don't have something wrong with you? I mean, I just don't understand how a person could be so optimistic about a Monday. You gotta change your perspective, Pop. I don't know what else to tell you. Change the mindset. Shake it up a little bit. Shake it up a little bit. It's Monday. You're here. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Come on, man. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. You got the world ahead of you. Full of opportunity. You're too cheerful for me and upbeat for a Monday. I'm sorry. I can't.
Switch it up.
What's that thing you always say? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean this thing? Keep showing up. Keep showing up. All right, one more time for you guys tonight. I know that's a long one. But in case you're just missing it, one more time, we'll play it back. People have the energy for Mondays, especially today. It's raining. What's there to look forward to? It's probably going to rain on the weekend, too. And then just back to work Monday again. What are you talking about? You don't like Mondays? It's a brand new way to start the week. It's a new lease on life. Or you gotta approach it differently. You just can't, go into it. Oh, it's Monday, it's negative. You're alive. Be grateful. Maybe I gotta change my perspective. Embrace the highs, embrace the lows. It's a part of life. Things are not always gonna go your way. You gotta approach it differently. You gotta turn it around. Make Monday a new day. Make Monday a fun day. Peace and love. You sure you don't have something wrong with you? I mean, I just don't understand how a person could be so optimistic about a Monday. You gotta change your perspective, Pop. I don't know what else to tell you. Change the mindset. Shake it up a little bit, alright? It's Monday. You're here. It's a beautiful thing, alright? Come on, man. Look, it's a beautiful day outside. You got the world ahead of you. Full of opportunity. You're too cheerful for me and upbeat for a Monday. What's that thing you always say? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean this thing? Keep showing up. Alrighty, there you go. That's it. And that's the message for you. Alright, try to turn it around. Change the mindset. Alright. Mondays are Mondays, I get it. The Monday blues is real. But you know what? If it sucks going into your job that much, if you're just not feeling right with yourself at this point in your life, wherever you're at, whatever's going on, try to switch it up, man. Do something, Try to detach a little bit. I know, you're here hanging with us, and we appreciate you and we love you. But sometimes you got to put down the phone. Sometimes you got to put down the screens. You got to get out there, get yourself out of nature. Connect like we once used to, right? This age that we're living in nowadays, there's screens everywhere, there's distractions everywhere, there's overstimulating everything. It's a lot.
Yeah, I talked to him. You text someone. Yeah, I talked to him the other day. Did you?
Get back to the normal, human interaction on a more simplistic, more simplistic level, or at least find a time to do so, and
some balance. Yeah.
And take a different approach throughout your week. Turn Monday into a positive day. It doesn't have to be this dreadful day that I always hear people say, oh, I can't wait for the weekend, can't wait for the weekend. But why? You get to the weekend and you're doing chores, you're doing this, and then ultimately
your money.
you get, blow your money away that you worked so hard all week to work for. Especially nowadays with the cost of living. How hard it is to maintain. Most families who work, got 2 jobs, 2, 3 jobs. Some 4. Juggling. The balances of life. You got to make time for yourself. You got to prioritize yourself. It's so important. We talk about that all the time on this show. If you don't prioritize yourself, especially, having kids, I hear it a lot. Kids come first. And yes, they do, to a certain extent, but if you're not right in your head mentally, physically, the whole 9, you don't have your health, whether it be mentally or physical health, then what good are you? You're good to nobody,
Put those kids last.
Yeah, but
what Michael Jordan says. Let me stop.
Screw them kids. Oh, no, that's terrible. We're not promoting that, everybody. My God. All right, I have 3 children. I love them very much. But is important to prioritize your own, mental health, and that's it.
You can't take care of your people until you're taken care of. You're not going to give them the best of you unless you're at your best, and you can't be at your best unless your mind is right.
And I think another thing that needs to be said is maybe doing too much. You got to understand that you're dishing out a lot of love. You're dishing out this and that, and whether or not you feel like it's getting reciprocated, or you're putting out too much energy, too much draining energy for your own self. You're not saving enough for you, and right. You know what I'm saying? That's important too. There's a point where you could be doing too much. I feel it sometimes with the whole content creating. I feel like it's what we kind of call content burnout. I feel like I'm everywhere. I'm here, I'm there, and I'm trying to juggle, my life and, kids and, friends and all around it, right? And work and everything, right? At some point, right, all of it. At some point, okay, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I gotta just, you know what, that can wait. You know what I'm saying? There is a time. So everything in balance, right? Everything in moderation in that sense, in a healthy way. You want to push yourself, but you want it to be a healthy push. All right?
Right.
With that being said, guys, I'm done. I'm beat. Any closing comments from either one of you before we send the people on their way tonight?
Go ahead, Chris. You first.
Mindfulness, everybody. Look forward. If you find yourself looking back, don't freaking stay stuck in it. That's
nice.
It.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said last show. Just be careful of your surroundings. Get home safely. It's very dangerous out there. I can't believe I'm saying this 20 years late. 20 years ago, I was Mr. Invincible. But I have a lot of awareness of our safety is very important. Just be careful out there. Driving, walking, crossing streets, getting on trains, whatever. Just be careful. Don't take it for granted that you've done something before. Be aware, because if you know something can happen to you, it probably won't. It only happens when you think it can.
All right. Everybody, that is it. We are going to end it right there. What a fabulous show it's been. We almost went 2 hours tonight. Thank you for everybody that tuned in via Twitch, YouTube. Thank you to all the contestants that won the Epis Sports Radio hat. We really appreciate you tuning in and participating. That was fun for me to do. First ever live giveaway, and it was a blast. Can't wait to do it again next time when we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't already done so, go over there, hit the subscribe button, keep those notifications ready, on. Bro. I already got the shirts ready. All right, so boom. Shit. How about that?
See? You on my...
Those shirts have been ready. All right, but I'm just waiting for the number to pop up. So that's it. I got a lot of shirts actually. So maybe tune in. Tune in, keep those notifications on. I might give away a shirt every now and then in the upcoming shows. You never know. And the only way to find out is if you keep on showing up. That's it.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Have a beautiful week. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to send this over to another member in the Twitch community. All right. Those of you that did, though, we appreciate you and love you. Keep showing up. We will see you next week on Mental Mondays with Epis. Keep showing up.
Wake up! Is every number where it was? Has this dream stopped?
Hope you find some kind of peace of
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. We are going to send this party over to a member in the Twitch community, my man, Roy McCracken. All right, show him some love. Say what up in the chat. We thank you for showing up tonight. It was a beautiful thing. Can't wait to see you guys next time and talk to you. Have a beautiful night.
Okay, Bogey Dubois. So, yeah, man. Yo, Chris, what did you think of the show, man? What you think of Jeff? I saw you listening to Jeff like, oh, shit.
Nah,